Toy villas entwined with purple bougainvillea flowers are the sweet dream of any romantic. Arrive at sunset at the walls of a ruined fortress in Santorini and make a wish. As the sun sinks into the Aegean Sea and colors everything around you in creamy hues. Myths: the ancient Greeks named the island after the local ruler of Mykonos, the grandson of Apollo himself. And long before that, they say, echoes of the Titanomachy, the war between Zeus and the Titans, were heard here. Truth: modern Mykonos is the Greek answer to Ibiza. On summer days, European youth hang out on the beaches, and at night they move to clubs where the music does not stop until the morning. Rocky landscape, windmills, snow-white villages on the shores of the Azure Sea. Mykonos is in many ways similar to Santorini, but not yet as popular. In July-August, it is simply crowded with Italian tourists, but the rest of the time the island is quite cozy. It looks like someone upstairs was playing with a box of markers, and that's how the Italian village of Manarola came to be. If you're brave enough to walk up the steep mountain path, you'll be able to show off spectacular photos of colorful houses looming over the sea. In the heart of the Cinctere, the town of Manarola is nestled, surrounded by postcard terraced vineyards. Manarola is famous for its wine-making traditions, and here you should definitely try the local liqueur wine with the funny name Cectra. Don't miss the medieval church of San Lorenzo. Stroll along Via Belvedere, which leads to a pier with colorful boats. Go up to the terrace of Punta Bonfiglio, from where the scattering of colorful houses of Manarola are clearly visible. No matter how much you rub your eyes, the Burmese magic will not dissipate. The charm of ancient Bagan is strong. You will be impressed until your next vacation, especially if you see thousands of pagodas shrouded in golden haze from above. Traveling during these anxious times is difficult or even impossible, but no one will forbid planning for the future. We hope that our articles will help you prepare for your inspiring trip whenever it takes place. Ancient cities seem to live outside of time. Sand is literally pouring out of historical settlements long abandoned by people, but the sight of each of them gives you goosebumps. Choose which ancient city you like best and dream of new adventures. For chocolate marzipan Bruges, centuries are like seconds. This Belgian town once slept sweetly. Ivy-covered houses are still crowded along the canals, and horses' hooves clatter loudly along the cobbled streets. Belgium hides modestly in the shadow of its more popular neighbors, and this is completely unfair. Where else can you read comics on the walls of houses, walk around miniature Europe, and learn how to make waffles that melt in your mouth? By car in Belgium, you can go for a unique beer. Get lost in the fabulous streets of Bruges and see the field of Waterloo, where Napoleon was defeated. Like the Eiffel Tower in Paris, the atomium in Brussels was built for one of the world exhibitions. A huge model of an iron molecule was built in Brussels in 1958 for the opening of the world exhibition. The atomium consists of 9 spheres with a diameter of a 6-story building. 5 of them housed a hotel and exhibition halls, and the highest one housed a restaurant and observation deck. It's worth coming down to Earth to visit Europe in miniature. You can admire Jodhpur endlessly. The city in the middle of the dry desert shines with the shades of the sky. To see the blue roofs from above, climb the walls of the ancient Mehrangarh fortress, in the museum of which the swords of Indian rulers sparkle with pearls. The city is popular among tourists for its palace complexes, fortresses, and temples. Located in the middle of the Thar Desert, Jodhpur is often called the City of the Sun for its clear weather throughout the year, and also the Blue City for the appropriate colors of the houses of the Brahmins. 3. The old part of the city is surrounded by a thick stone wall. Jodhpur is located in central Rajasthan on the edge of the Thar Desert. The average altitude above sea level is 131 meters. From the southeast, the city is limited by the bed of the drying-up Joyari River. The climate of Jodhpur is arid semi-desert according to the Köppen climate classification BSHW. The annual precipitation norm is for 150 millimeters, but the actual amount of precipitation may differ significantly from the norm. Thus, in 1899, only 24 millimeters of precipitation fell in Jodhpur, and in 1917, 1,178 millimeters. The monsoon season lasts from June to September. From April to May, the air temperature often exceeds for OOC. During the monsoon season, average temperatures drop slightly. However, during this period, humidity increases, which only enhances the negative impact of high temperatures. Jodhpur was founded in 1459 by the Rajput ruler Rao Jodha. He conquered neighboring territories and created a state known as Marwar. Jodhpur's location along the road from Delhi to Gujarat allowed it to profit from the flow of opium, copper, silk, sandalwood, dates, and coffee. Already during Jodha's lifetime, the city he founded became the capital of Marwar. The French town of Annecy has no end to photographers. Of course, swans swim along the graceful bridges, and the majestic Alps flaunt behind the ancient roofs as a bonus to the photogenic views. There are hiking trails to mountain lakes, and the routes start right outside the city's outskirts. Anyone who has been to Paris knows what makes it the main character of romantic films and a desirable mark on the map of any traveler. Sometimes all the most interesting things are found along the way from one audio guide point to another. After winking at the Mona Lisa at the Louvre, find the street artist's meeting place. The facade of House No. 59 on Rue Rivoli may look different, but you will still recognize it immediately by the painted windows, toys hanging from balconies, or huge human faces made from various rubbish. Here, on Rivoli, there are a lot of boutiques, but the most interesting shopping happens at the world's oldest flea market, Saint-Ouen, on the outskirts of Paris. From whatever angle you photograph the mountainous Hallstatt, it will look magical. The lens will certainly catch snow-covered slopes and gingerbread houses. The best way to check all this at once is to take a boat ride on the mirror-like surface of the lake. If Austria is remembered as a tourist destination, it is mainly skiers and snowboarders. But in vain, it's cool here not only on the ski slopes, the country of Mozart, opera, Viennese coffee houses, alpine meadows, and imperial palaces is a wonderful place to relax at any time of the year. Read What to Do in Austria with or without skis. To get a taste of the Austrian capital, try its three main delicacies: Wiener Schnitzel, Viennese coffee, and the most famous chocolate cake in the world, the Viennese Sacher cake. You need to try everything. Just calculate your strength. It's almost impossible to eat it all in one sitting. The best schnitzel in Vienna is served in the Figlmaler restaurant, which proudly calls itself the birthplace of schnitzel, and they have every reason for this. The restaurant was opened more than a century ago, and the quality of the schnitzels here is time-tested. Be sure to book a table in advance. In the evenings, there is a huge queue here. Sacher torte with Viennese coffee can be a good addition to a visit to the Vienna State Opera. The cafe at the Sacher Hotel, where the cake was invented, is located exactly across the street from her. After a cup of strong coffee with a divine dessert, go listen to the opera or just take pictures in the luxurious interiors. Tickets to the most famous opera house in the world can be bought online. Prices start from €13. To see the Targaryen family nest in real life, you don't have to sail to Westeros with an army of Dothraki warriors. The rocky beach where Dragonstone was filmed in the 7th season is called Itzu Run and is Located in the Spanish town of Zumaya, this is in the Basque Country in the province of Gipuzkoa. The easiest way to get to Itsurun Beach is along the Flish Trail, which stretches along the coast between the towns of Deva and Sumaya. If you are still a walker, and you don't want to monitor the ebb and flow of the tides yourself, hire a guide. He will not only guide you along the best path, but also tell you about the history of these places which, for a moment, are 50 million years old. Spain made her debut only in the 5th season of Game of Thrones, but immediately in the leading role. Beautiful Seville on the screens turned into the capital of Dorne, and the town of Osuna halfway to Malaga, above its bullring. Dennery's children finally appeared in all their glory. They say that the Andalusians enthusiastically received the arrival of the filmmakers. In October 2014, HBO Studio announced the recruitment of 550 people for extras less than 24 hours later. The production center in Osuna received 86,000 applications. The population of Osuna is 17,973 people. The 7th season of one of the most popular TV series of the 21st century was again filmed, mainly in Spain. The 6th season turned out great. Moroccan Chaven is filled to the brim with blue. The walls, window frames, and stairs are painted in a heavenly shade, according to legend. 50 shades of blue are supposed to remind local residents of their Jewish roots. Drink mint tea Moroccan style. Time in Morocco is measured in glasses of fragrant mint tea. It is drunk in any city, at any age, and at any moment of the day or night. Neither checking into a hotel nor searching for treasures in the bazaar, nor a simple walk through the old city, the Medina, will be complete without this ritual. And all because green tea with mint is a real elixir of vigor for residents and guests of this African country. It perfectly tones in the morning, quenches thirst during the day, and calms and relaxes in the evenings. And most importantly, Moroccan mint tea is so tasty that it can win over even convinced coffee lovers. Surfing in the Atlantic Ocean and a golden tan on Mediterranean beaches, a safari in the Sahara and a reboot in the Hammam, amazing cuisine and colorful Oriental bazaars. All this awaits you in Morocco, where you don't even need a visa. The Swiss village of Zermatt, the #1 resort for ski and snowboard fans, is famous throughout the world for its fabulous landscapes. The stern peak of the Matterhorn, which rises above the toy roofs, will appear in your romantic dreams for a long time. Pictures from the Glacier Express window need to be printed and framed. In 8 hours on the route St. Moritz au Zermatt, the famous Albula viaducts, the Rhine Canyon, and the Oberalp Pass will pass before your eyes. 100 tunnels and 300 dizzying bridges are quite scary, even if the express train travels the slowest in the world. To prevent passengers from getting too dizzy at an altitude of 2 kilometers, the air in the carriages is saturated with oxygen. After catching your breath, take a sip of wine from a glass with an inclined stem. This will make it easier to cope with the steep ascents and descents. Rolex NN Need. A Swiss-made watch purchased while traveling in Switzerland will last for centuries, for 400 years. Swiss watchmakers have honed their craft to perfection, and Switzerland has become a leader in quality and the hashtag reliable. Most watches for any wallet and wrist are sold in Zurich on Bahnhofstrasse, where Bucherer and Gobelin brand stores sparkle with windows. When purchasing over 300 Swiss francs, you can get an 8% tax refund using the tax-free system. Don't forget to take a special VAT refund form, as well as the original receipt, and stamp it at customs. The sedate Rainfather is furious, a magical, incomparable spectacle. Rumbling and stumbling over rapids, the Rhine falls from the height of an 8-story building. On a sunny day, tourists trample on every piece of land to see the rainbow and the spray of water. If you find superpowers in you, take a boat to the waterfall and proudly climb onto the jutting cliff. Emperor Alexander I also appreciated the power of the waterfall and ordered a selfie against the background of the elements from the artist Shedrin. His favorite red chair with gilded legs still stands in Laufen Castle above the waterfall. Every day in Switzerland there is a new type of cheese on the plate, spicy or moldy, hard or grainy, soaked in cider or rubbed with herbs. The Emmentaler, with its nutty flavor and large round holes, sits on the royal throne. In the Affolterna cheese factory you can see how it is slowly boiled in copper vats and, in the old-fashioned way, over a fire. If you contact the cheesemakers in advance, they will allow you to stir the cauldron with a huge fork and take away a head of your own creation, as a souvenir for the sake of the noble Gruyere cheese. It is worth going to the alpine slopes of the village of the same name. The audio guide, The Cow Cherry, will tell you how such delicious food is obtained from meadow grasses. The fabulous Chillon Castle on the shores of Lake Geneva is advertised for free. First, Lord Byron glorified its stone loopholes in the poem The Prisoner of Chillon. Then Disney artists in the cartoon about the Little Mermaid. Over the course of 1,000 years, many legends have been born about how the Counts of Savoy threw parties under the stone arches and how the victims of the Inquisition languished in shackles. It's all the more interesting to wander through the gloomy dungeons, timidly glancing sideways at the knight's armor and shadows sliding along the walls. Wooden beds, bulky chests, and a well toilet immerse you in the Middle Ages better than a VR helmet. At the very top, between the battlements of the fortress wall, a pleasant bonus awaits you, an observation deck with stunning views of the turquoise expanse.